So, yeah, bro, I'm about to get we're gonna talk about the doctrines and covenants. I think, nah, that ain't the book. It's another one. Okay, it's called A Pearl of Great Price. And he was talking about Joseph. And that's dealing with right now. Like what we talking about is dealing with right now. Okay. I was reading and it was about religions. It was about Baptists, Presbyterians, and Methodists. It was about them three religions. Then you had like the outside, who was like irreligious. And he was trying to like figure out which one basically to follow. Not knowing he really already on the good side. But cause you know, you get into a religion, it's nothing but confusion. You know. Cause everybody they twisting off with each other. They got the same, they going off the same thing. But they all got a different name. Oh, I'm Baptist, or I'm this, but they all twisting off the same thing. So I was reading that, and it was basically like he was going like basically all three religious. I mean, not religious, but all three religions, talking to like basically like the hierarchy. You know, the person in power that's over the, you know. So he was talking to them, and he was talking to them, and it was like it was like a division, just like it is now. It's a division. But I got some notes.
Talk to somebody right now?
We dealing with persecution or the sanctification as well. Now that Jerusalem is desolate and laid waste, the sanctuary, now it's just religious viewing with every other religious group.
I'm really confused.
You know. That too. There's a lot of confusion. Confusing the faces. People don't know who the enemy is. People don't know who the enemy is, you know. So now they just raising war against, you know, their neighbor or their relative. Plundering, looting, that's still going on. But we're gonna get to these notes, bro. In the latter days, he gathering the elect.
I'm gonna tell you how he is.
He gathering the elect. And 12, you're gonna have 12 disciples of Yahushua. He gonna judge Israel. And that's starting to happen now. Like judgment starting to happen now. Yeah, we already know about the plagues. You got signs, plagues, desolence, the abomination of despots. That's happening now. You said we'll proceed. Second coming, this the last resurrection. last resurrection. And you know the fall of Israel. If you atone, then you can bring salvation. You know, you atoning right now, you can bring salvation, and it'll bring salvation for the children. And the elders, I think these like the last couple notes I did. I ain't do too many notes, but I'm still gonna talk about the book of the Great Price, and Doctrines and Covenants. And the elders organized. Hold on, let me see, cause I kind of brain slop. And the elders of Israel organized the laws. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, laws of. I know my writing with a pen, but my writing is crazy. The laws of basically saying, okay, the elders of Israel, they're caring. They're supposed to be caring for the poor and needy, you know, which what they usually be doing, like in the community, in the local community. They usually be like, they be at the churches and they giving out food, or little boxes of food, stuff like that, like just caring for what's going on. Ask for the gifts of the Spirit, the gifts of the Holy Spirit. The elders. Let me see. It's another one with the elders. The elders, notwithstanding the manifestations of, like basically like, what spirit are you? Like, cause everybody they bear a spirit of, the ancient ones. That was before us, all the way, generations. We got that spirit. So a lot of us, we come from royal backgrounds. So yeah. Israel divided. Israel divided. It's a lot of Israel on Israel right now. It's a lot of Israel. It's a lot of temptations. It's a lot of revilement. It's a lot of persecution. It's a lot of that right now. A lot of it. Yeah, and this go back to I was saying the principalities that's brought about with the sanctification. You sanctifying. It's like it's properties. It's principality properties. Brought against that too. See, I had just got off the phone with some elders with the Book of Mormon. They got a whole different look on it. They don't really even be in the Holy Bible like that. They just be strictly in the Book of Mormon. So we'll talk, like I was supposed to meet them on Wednesday. We'll talk and I'll be telling them what's going on with Israel. And the whole time, not to bash my number, but the whole time, they'll just be talking about the Book of Mormon. They don't even be. And when you go into that book, like it's literally showing you like scripts. Like when you read a certain thing in the book, cause that book is all about like, it's straight to the point book. Like it's breaking down everything the Bible's saying, but it's straight to the point. Like and then they'll give you the strip at the bottom of the scripture at the bottom of the page. I actually got the book. I ain't got my bag right now. But yeah. Talking about we're gonna get back to the Doctrines and Covenants. Well, now with these notes, that's where the Doctrines and Covenants came with the notes. But I'm gonna get back to the Great Price. Pearl Price. It's talking about the Pearl Price. Where it's talking about Joseph. He was trying to basically like see, like this go back to what I was saying, he was trying to see which religious group to get with. And once he got qualification, he got clarity of you know, who to talk to do so. He was like, no, you basically doing right. You just being on the outskirts, watching these religious fuel with each other, and they all coming by themselves. They fueling with each other. You know, what else? And it was talking about the gold plates that he got, cause he married someone. Her name was, I want to say, Elma. Yeah, her name was Ellen. Some shit. It was like, I don't know. You know, in those books, they be having like, that's where they whitewash it. You got to put it in context of Israel, knowing that, you know, we was colored people. So they have all different names. You got to put it in context. You got to have the same. So her name was like Ella. I looked up the picture. I was just looking at the faces of all the characters, translating the characters. Because basically what he was translating. Like when he got the golden place, he was translating them. Like I wish I had, because I got the book online. I wish I had that book to where I can, you know, just go into it. That way I can record it and be in the book and go straight to what I need to talk about. But I'm going to be going off and on here. And it was to where, okay, while he was like, you know, while he was trying to figure out what religion to get into, you know, he was laboring at the same time. He was laboring. Even by him laboring, you know, he was like, his tongue, like he couldn't even really, when he prayed, he couldn't even really utter like that, because of some fact, it was an underworld entity. It was a darkness, and it bonded his tongue, and that's like going, that's prophetic, bro. Like that's happening now. These religious, like they're, you know, it's like, yeah, cause we got like, you know, I ain't no telling how many religions we got, and they all a spin off of each other, but they fueling with each other, and then they fueling with the real faith. They fueling with the real, you know, the Hebrews. They fueling with the real Jews. So then, when we, you know, we talk about, man, y'all talk about this, y'all talk about this. Y'all not saying this, y'all not teaching this. And it be a persecution of the real church. You know, it be a persecution, it be reviling. And it was talking about how, you know, like how the archers in the Bible, you know, nigga, they slewing. Like, nigga, they see you and you not an archer. You not a person, you not an archer of greed, an archer of, you know, envy, you know, an archer of, you know, just strife. You know, because it's you know, it's levels with the archers. You got a group where they greed, you know, they scheme, plot, and steal, and it's all about greed, game. And you got archers where it's the ones with they the wars. They the one, you know, dealing with the wars. Where, you know, like if you ain't on their side, they shooting arrows. They shooting darts. They shooting arrows. And it can be any type of arrow. It don't just a regular arrow. It can be any type of arrow. It can be an arrow of temptation. They'll shoot it at you, boom. You know. There's all type of arrows they'll shoot at you. You know, like they got it's like now, boys dealing with persecution now. You know. It's all faith-based. Based on what your faith is. You don't follow the common criterion, so you will get persecuted. You know, you'll get persecuted, bro. You'll get reviled. It'll be just like it's stating in that book, it's a multitude. They can be from 3 different churches, you know, 3 different religions. They'll band together. They don't like each other, but they'll band together to go against you. That's happening. That's prophecy right now. That's where I go back and say Israel on top of Israel. Because you got Israel inside them churches. And they know they Israel. That's the thing about it. You got Israel inside the churches. Not only them, no, I'm talking about the 7 churches. I'm talking about them. You got the Jezebels, Soteres. Then you got these the main spirits. You know, you got Jezebels, you got the Leviathan, you got all Python. You know, you got all of them. All the marine spirits, they basically be like in a pulpit. Most of them being like a pulpit. They religious spirits. Most of them come from like religious spirits, bro. They basically religious. You know. And when you ain't with religious, you basically on the outskirts trying to see what's real and what's what when it comes to they congregation. See, once you know you're a Brew, you're a Jew, you ain't even dealing with that no more, because it's like, based off you just being who you are as your heritage, as your lineage. Once you know your lineage, you don't gotta be in no church. You gotta understand, the church out here, like, we talk about the temple, which is our body, the temple, and then you put all this together, that's a temple, that's a body. That's why it's called a nation, But then, you gotta, that goes back to say, But what I'm going off of is, it's basically like, not basically like, but that's what it is. Like, this ancient time though, this back in the 1800s, what I'm reading from, but it's talking about what's happening now. It just reviled me, They don't even know why they persecuted you. That's the thing about it. They don't even know why they doing it. They just doing it. So what spirit's in there. You know. They doing, there's a lot going on, bro. Not only just religious, not fuels, but you got magic, you got black sorcery, you got body snatching, you got people wearing bestiality out here, you got everything, you name it, because all the seals open. You shouldn't even be surprised, all the seals open, bro. You got people waxing cold. It ain't no love no more. Right now, the only thing you should have is hollowness. You should know, straight hollowness. They ain't, they been showed you, it's not they, but anybody. Like, they been showed you all. They ring turn cold. That's you shouldn't feel no way, because that's prophecy. That ain't nothing but prophecy. People waxing cold, they ain't really got no love in their heart. They shit dark, nigga. And they moving in straight dark ways as prophecy. When you see that, you really should be giving all the praise and the glory to Abba. But it's a fact. Nigga, he said it, and it's happening. And you allowed to witness it. So it's like, his word ain't gonna fall to the ground. Especially, you of a different, you of a whole different. You ain't following the same criteria as what they trying to get you to follow, bro. You're going to see the divide. You're going to see the difference. You're going to see that these religions out here, they really not eating off what they preaching, what they talking about. They eating off the persecution that they giving out. They eating off the provisions of the Hebrews. They eating off that. They basically, they flourishing in wealth. They flourish. This is in Esdras. This is in, you know what I'm saying, the book of Apocrypha and Esdras. Second Esdras. This thing where, bro, they don't even think upon the laws of the commandments, but they flourishing. He telling us that they flourishing. Wanna know why? Because they eating off the provisions of the ones who suffering, who long suffering, and you know, because when you long suffering, you losing everything. You know, you losing everything, and every time you lose everything, that's where it go. It go to the ones that's by default. They only getting it by default. It's not all I did. It's by default. That's the only reason why they got it. The world don't judge righteously, bro. They only got it by default. Ain't the thing about it is, everybody know all the seals open. Everybody, that's why they moving. They showing their hand and where, nigga. I never, you know, they've been saying I'm Baptist, I'm Christian, I'm Methodist, or whatever religion you with. But now it's showing where, nigga, they showing all they secret groups they had been in the pulpit. Like, nigga, it's a cults out here and shit. It's not. Niggas wasn't really Christian. The real Christians is the Hebrews. We the real Christians. These are the real Christians. We don't, you know, in the Bible it say Christians, but we the Hebrews. Yahweh was the Christ, he was a Hebrew. You know, he'll call, if you really, you know, if you putting on for the, if you claiming Hebrew, and you not claiming because it's not a game, but if you really saying you're Hebrew, you know your lineage, you know what forefather you come from, you know what seed you come from. Because a lot of us come straight from the same seed as Christ. We come from the same seed as Christ. You know, so it's like, you know, the same seed as Christ. So it's like, now that's who will be called, you will be called a real Christian. Because Christians, modern day Christians and Baptists and all that, it's not the real deal. You know, and that's why the Hebrews, they get persecuted so much. It's like, bro, there goes. I done been to where it's camps. I done been to where it's camp. They got a camp in Little Rock now. I done been to where it's camps. They on the street, and people who Christians and stuff, they trying to beat up on. They trying to go to war with the real Christians because they know they not really Christians. They know they occulted. They in the occult. You know, and that's why, you know, when Revelations, you know, everything start happening, and then you see all these pastors, they start rolling out, you'll get on YouTube, you'll see all of them, every time, you know, you ain't even trying to watch them, they pop up, and they'll be talking about the same thing, they be on, in one accord, on the line, in the line, with the Hebrews, saying the same thing we saying, but you'll be bashing them the whole time. They might not see it, but, you know, the brews, we see it. The ones who know we're brew, we actually living, and knowing we're brew, we not, you know. Cause you got some in the church that know they're brew and ain't came out the church yet. People that came to you as a messenger and told you was a Hebrew, you ain't even came out the church yet. You got books in your house knowing you a Hebrew, but you ain't came out the pulpit yet. When he told you, if you read from the same book, you ain't even came out the pulpit yet. And this is what he's saying. He taking pastors. It's pastors stepping down, leaving their churches. You know, because the real work being done outside. It's on the streets. It's not. You ain't, man. You think about it. You go ask everybody who in the church. They not learning nothing in there. Literally. every church that I didn't attempt to try to go to and went to, I didn't learn nothing in there. The spirit didn't even act right when I was in there. And I was young, I ain't know nothing about it. So I knew it was something wrong then. Like, about time, like, we in a time where everything is being revelated. You know, Israel got all the wisdom. We know exactly what time we in. We know what seal we in. We know prophecy. We know, the subliminal numbers when it's dealing with certain years of prophecy that happened and now it's coming to pass. Modern day, we know all that, but we're still in a temple of a congregation that you ain't getting nothing from. So that only leads to another conclusion. Because you actually got niggas that's out here getting blessed, then you got niggas out here who getting blessed, but they out here doing the work of Satan. They persecuting the real church. They literally out here persecuting the real church. Every move we make, and if it don't fit their criteria, they persecute you. They persecute you, bro. They reviling you. Every move you make, if it ain't, you take a sip or something, they gonna persecute you. Which he already told us, if you walk in that real ancient path, nigga, he told you it's gonna be persecution for his name's sake. So it's like, you shouldn't even just expect, I know this story, I know this Christ. You can't be like that and then be like, I don't want to get persecuted. You can't be like that. Because whether you don't want to you're going to get persecuted anyway. Whether you don't or not, bro, it don't matter. Soon you know you a Hebrew, nigga, the persecution gonna start. Because it's a different light when it comes to religious and when it comes to actual a Jew. You actually living like a Jew. You actually knowing you're a Jew. That's a totally different light than being in a damn church. And the thing about it is, the pastors know they ain't teaching you shit. When they get their license, they know they ain't finna teach you shit. They finna teach you the same things. Or either they finna steal some sermons that they heard from the real church and bring it in the church and bash their church. And they using their sermon to bash them. They using the same thing we saying, but you using it to bash somebody. The whole time, notice that every time a pastor preach, he really be pointing at one of the big leaders or a leader or icon leader of the real church. He persecute them every time. He assassinate character every time. He don't never give shouts out to me. They'll say the most now because his spirit came in the world. That's why everybody's saying the Most High. Spirit came in the world. My last church I went to, it was because of a funeral. My homeboy mama had died. And they was in there, they was talking about the Most High, and they blew the trumpet. I knew that wasn't nothing but the Most High. Because y'all wasn't, I already know y'all wasn't blowing the trumpet, y'all wasn't doing that. Y'all wasn't doing all that, bro. Because if y'all doing that now, and knew you had to blow the trumpet and all, you would have been doing it over a minute, because you in the same Bible. You in the same Bible. You in the same Bible. You seen the same thing you seen before his spirit even came in the world. It's just, persecution out of nowhere. It's just everywhere. Like, it's something. That's how I know it's the combination. I don't even call it the secret combination no more. That's the combination of Satan. You got the church, Then you got the actual, street congregation church where we outside with it. No. You got ones on the highways and byways, staffs with the staffs fringed up, all that. Then you got ones that's doctors, and they the ones who push the covenant. They bring Israel, they bring Judah, because I'm from Judah, so they bring all them to the covenant. They be the leader that bring them to it's like a Moses, Joseph, Joshua. They bring them to the covenant. You got the doctrine and the covenant brethren, and you got the highways and byway brethren of the Jews, who actually they congregated. They got a whole congregation, but it was done by the hand of the Lord, Yahweh. It's persecution on health, and then the thing about it is, all the reviling and all the persecution, it's just like the Babylonians. That's how I know they working with them. Everything they doing, they getting blessed by the Babylonians. They not getting blessed by the Most High. You getting blessed by the Babylonians. They sent them letters. Y'all accepted the letters. He was like, y'all can do what y'all want. And persecute this church. Because if you keep, they waking up everybody. Persecute this church. Y'all be blessed. That's what's going on right now. They did a covenant. Instead of doing a covenant with the Most High, coming back to the covenant with the Most High, they did a covenant with the Grecians. They sent the letters. That's around the time of Feast of Dedication. When we was building the temple and we were putting the lamp, the menorah back in there, bro, all that. That's when we were sacrificing them for 8 days. For them 8 days, it was just like Egypt all over again, but it was just in the Feast of Dedication. They started building calves. They got to complaining, and they was like, man, why we doing, I'm finna, nigga, we just finna worship the Grecians. That's what they started saying. That's what they started being on. We finna worship the Grecians. And that's what they did. So now, you got the persecution of the real church out here. Yeah, spiders, man. Got the persecution of the real church. Everything you do, and it ain't fitting that criteria, nigga, you getting persecuted. Best believe. Nigga, that's one of the biggest topics right now. You got Israel that's of Israel, but they with the Grecians, they with the Babylonians. They accepted them damn letters. So now, nigga, that's what they doing. It's persecution, revilement, exploitation, plunder, and looting. During the time with the Grecian and Alexander, all them, that was during the time they looted Jerusalem. After that, Israel was turning to and fro. They was under one king. He was doing good. He was, and when he fell, and the one that was looting, plundering, and he was distributing that. He was making it like that was a law. And that's the one who they following now. They still following that same king right now. That's other Grecians. Other Babylonians. They still doing it. They still doing that, bro. They took that over with the Grecians. And these people that came in contact with messages told them, they went into scripture, showed them, knowing the Hebrews. But they accepted the Grecians, the Greeks, and all them. Now we just, it's a big mess out here. Sanctuaries wasted. All the women they ravished. The young man they weak. You know, the mighty man, they in bondage. You know, still in captivity. We did all that. We went after other gods. Still in captivity. You ain't winning nothing from it. But a provision that's being dried up right now. So we talking about dry. That provision being dried up right now. Now we going through famines. After a while, we ain't finna have nothing in the stove. Niggas finna be hungry. They did all that looting, plundering, and now we finna be hungry. Gas, wind, and if you in a small town and you only got, one gas station, nigga, that ain't gonna do nothing. And then you gotta understand, you in a small town, they watering that down. You already really gotta go out of town to go, get gas. Gas, nigga, they boosting that. Nigga, housing, they boosting that. Nigga, everything you think about, they boosting it because it's crumbling. They know niggas out here, they ain't really got no finances, they ain't got no incomes. And if they do, they probably got one source of income, and then they getting it from them. They giving it from the government. They getting it from them. So now they everything slow motion. Everything slow motion. If you getting money and you getting some type of resource from them, it's slow motion on your end. Locally too. Stoves, all that, it gets slow motion, man. Not only that, it's slow motion. Everything's starting to get real low. Everything we thought we had and we thought we were gonna have it for a little bit, it's getting real low now. Niggas know that. That's why now everybody they plundering, they stealing, they looting from they neighbors, everybody they contact with, they run across they path with, they relative, they doing that. They stealing from everybody. They don't care if nigga, you got the same blood as them, nigga. It don't matter. They stealing. If you ain't got it physically, materially, they stealing spiritually. Nigga, it's all manner. It's highway robbery out here, bro. Nigga. It's highway robbery out here. You don't believe it, you better believe something. Shit, but nigga, it's all manners. Nigga, all of it going on, boy. All of it going on right now. You can't tell me it ain't the latter day. You can't tell me, nigga, the seals ain't open. You can't tell me, nigga, we ain't seeing Sodom and Gomorrah right before our eyes. Man burning lust towards another man. The industries, they trying to demasculate, emasculate the damn man. They uterus shifting. They shifting uterus. But you got people doing that on the local level. They ain't even, not just them, they got people on the local level doing it, and they doing it as a joke. All they doing is you being used as a battle act. That's prophecy, bro. Everything you doing, that's prophecy, bro. That's revelation. Because you only showing what's going to happen. You doing exactly what they doing. If you went with the Grecians and the Babylonians, you doing their works. You getting blessed for doing their works. And that's why I was saying, bro, you doing it in the right time, because now you finna get salt about it. Now you finna get judged about it. Everybody gotta be salt for their deeds. Everybody. We in a time where you gotta be, and we know we ain't perfect, and that's the first thing we holler, but as he say, it ain't, it ain't hard to follow a command. We only make it hard. Literally. Like, it ain't hard to follow a command. We only make that shit hard, bro. And we only make it hard because, understand, like I was just telling the girl this. She was saying, oh, we born sinners. We ain't born sinners, dude. You understand? When we get out of womb, nigga, we pure. We don't know nothing about sin. We don't be knowing about sin until we hit the door of our family. Once you come to your family and you come from the hospital, from being delivered, that's when you delivered from being pure and to sin. You don't know nothing about it until you reach that door, until you go into your house, until you meet your family. You know, and it's generations of this. Your mama went through the same thing. She was pure, left the hospital, came to her house, and shit, she was introduced to sin. Nigga, you wasn't born a damn sinner, bro. That's what they be trying to get you to accept. Nigga, you weren't born a sinner, so stop trying to fit the criteria of like I'm a sinner, so on. No, nigga, you can. That's just you don't really want to change. You can't say you a sinner. You're not a sinner. You ain't subject on it unless you want to be subject on it. I had to tell a female that, like, bro, she was saying, oh, we born and we born into sin because we was dealt, we was given sin. We ain't chose sin like, oh, nigga, from when we was groomed to do sin. Nigga, you gotta understand, there's kids that I ain't never want to do nothing bad and had their innocence stripped from them early. They got groomed early, nigga. So when you getting groomed early, nigga, eventually you ain't finna do nothing but just all you know is sin now because you got groomed sin. You got groomed into it. And half the time you didn't even know it. You know. So we gotta get out there mentality of saying, oh man, we was born into sin. That's the first thing we say. That's all we say. Oh, I'm a sinner. Like, nigga, you ain't a sinner, nigga. You was in the hospital. You was pure. Nigga, you ain't know nothing about it. Even if your mama was a crack fiend or did any drug, nigga. If she did that and it was in your veins, you still was a pure child, nigga. You weren't doing the crack. You weren't doing that. You weren't doing none of that shit. You a child, nigga. You ain't even a child yet. You an infinite. You know. Nigga, that's why I be saying, stop trying to be subject to sin, because now it's like we make that a trend. Everything be a trend nowadays. Oh, niggas make a song. Like they got a song, this nigga was sinner, I'll put your in the blender. Like, nigga, come on, man. Niggas love to be a sinner. You got people who never wanted to be a sinner, but nigga, they were dealt their hands, so nigga, they went through what they went through. You got niggas who, if they would have never got introduced to that shit, once they went home from they, they'll still be pure. And they ain't know shit about that shit. A lot of these so-called gangsters and thugs and shit, a lot of these niggas didn't even never want to be a damn gangster or thug. It's just they got around uncles, cousins, nigga mamas, daddies. Oh shit. Nigga, that's when it was on. You never was a sinner until you got around influence. That's where it came about. Influence. Niggas sit up here all day. Brews out here sit up here all day. Oh, nigga, I did it. They'll glorify what they did, and it'll be where they never wanted to be a sinner. But you will glorify sin. Like, nigga, it's crazy. You gotta understand, there's people out here that, nigga, literally got their innocence stripped from them. Nigga. Then you gotta understand, this curse is on you too. You know, you go from being pure, then your innocence gets stripped, Then you find out nigga you got curses on you. But you only find that out when you get old enough. So then nigga you really wondering. Yeah, because once you fall into sin, nigga, you wonder. You know. You just searching after that. You searching. You trying to search what's good, what's bad, you searching. When you innocent, you never touch sin, nigga. You know, you just like a Christ. We already made in the image. You just like a Christ. You blemishless. You don't have no blemish. When you ain't touch sin, you a baby. You infinite, nigga. You a Christ. You can say you a miracle baby then. You don't know nothing. You blemishless. You don't know nothing about the sin until you get around influence. You get around your people. Because the same thing happened to them. They came home. Before then, there was never a sinner. They was groomed that way. You know, some people, nigga, even after everything they was groomed through, nigga, they'll prevail over it. And then right after the fact, nigga, you still got the world to deal with. You still got the outside influence other than your family. Once you get outside of your family. So nigga, it's, you know, like nigga, when, you gotta understand, like, bro, sin is everywhere. That don't mean you're the sin. That's the thing. It's time where we gotta start taking control back, bro. Because really, sin ain't nothing but flesh. All that shit is just flesh, bro. You know, all that's just flesh. That's all sin is. That's all sin consists of, flesh. Because the spirit ain't gonna do it. Nigga. Spirit not gonna do that shit. You know. Nobody is subject under sin unless you wanna be. It's all everything your choice. You know. Now when you young and you get groomed, that's not a choice because you're taught that. You at an age, nigga, you don't know nothing about it. You think it's cool because somebody telling you to do it. Or you getting, you know. That's another thing. We be out here, nigga, sinner. Yeah. They be out here on demon time, nigga. That's all it be. You made your decision to be on demon time, so now you out here just saying you a damn sinner. You not a sinner, nigga. You just made your decision. That's when you become a full-time sinner. When you make that decision and proclaim you're a sinner, and you be acting like you on demon time and shit, what they call demon time, you made that decision, nigga. And you probably made that shit a long time ago. So that's why a lot of things don't faze you when you tell them. Yeah, cause you'll be like, it have been people came to you, told you exactly who you are, you know. Cause 9 times out of 10, before you know who you are, it's people already know who you are. It's people out here that tell you exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but leave you in the blind because, you know, they want you to be groomed into sin. Nigga, you go in the book of Enoch, bro, a lot of the sons of men and the daughters of men was angels. They had heaven on earth, nigga, when that was birthed. This rope, this ain't nobody just talking. You can go in the book of Enoch and go see this. And if you go back to your experience and how you felt and what you was going through, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of us, nigga, we was angels. A lot of niggas knew you had a different presence of you, nigga. It wasn't just no, I was a baby and I can't know, nigga. A lot of us was angels, nigga. We profaned ourselves, nigga, dealing with these damn lustful women, lustful dudes. You know, profane yourself. Cause nigga, a lot of niggas, bro, all of us had a purpose, nigga, when we came out the womb. A lot of 9 times out of 10, most of us had a purpose when we came out the womb. Nigga. Once you got a small certain age, you probably, bro, you was already getting downloads of what you supposed to be doing. That's when your imagination active is crystal clear active. That shit is active. Once you young, you about 2, 3, cause you got some people they was walking early. People walking early, talking early, you know. That ain't a coincidence. At all. It ain't a coincidence. We really out here in Revelation and judgment. You know, it's a Latter-day Church trying to get built, but then you got people, they hindering the growth because they persecuting. You know, you supposed to be of the church too. You supposed to be getting right and doing what we got to do to build a church. Because you got to understand, we are the church. We don't have to be in a temple to do so, bro. We are the church. We supposed to be out here all together building a church. Everybody got their own mission, their own assignment to be doing. But you got people, they'll take the other route. They'll go make a deal, make a covenant with the Babylonians. They'll go get blessed by them. And your assignment when you bless them is we gotta stop this church. We gotta stop this real church that's being built. We gotta literally, nigga, persecute every nigga of that church. First, we're gonna target the big icon, the one who, you know, who sparked and who brought a spark for the whole nation. And then, you know, it continued. The algorithms. Understand? You got brothers, doctrine, covenants. You got brothers on the highways and byways. You know. Now, seemingly, the brothers on the highways and byways, they might be doing more work, because more than likely, the doctrines and covenant, they the ones who, they really laboring in spirit more than anything. Now, the brothers on the highways and the byways, they actually, they breaking down, they going to everything, and they showing you everything, and they actually got more time to do so. See, us, we labor in spirit. It's just, you know, our assignment is really like on autopilot. It's flow. You know, it flow. You know, based off what's going on, what's around it. You know, a lot of the doctrines and covenant brothers, they be prophetic. They be seers. They just be the ones that, you know, they doing the battle acts in a seer way, in a prophetic way. They doing their works too, but they just doing it in spirit. You know, like come on, man, we used to where we know what's going on, and it's really choice. What side you want to be on? People are already making their choice, bro. A lot of people made their choice a long time ago. Like I say, ain't nobody a sinner unless you want to be subject on it. Anybody can change. It's not hard to change, bro. Well, nah, I ain't gonna say that. It's hard to change, but if you want change and you want it bad, it ain't hard. Cause then you gonna go with the procedure. Now, if you know the life that keep trying to suck you in, but you keep seeming to get out of it, you won't change. You won't change, because if you steady getting out of life, getting out of certain habits, getting out of certain cycles, where it keep trying to suck you in, and you ain't going for it, you trying to change, bro. Flesh probably ain't doing it. Flesh probably don't give a damn. But nigga, spirit, you can be tired. You can be tired trying to change. But nigga, spirit gonna keep you going. With the living water, with the blood of Yahweh Christ, the Messiah, he gonna keep you going. You know, we in a time where we getting back exactly who we are. Like when we first was born, we had all our gifts when we was born. We had the strength of our youth. Nigga, the strength of our youth was the best years because we had, nigga, we was doing everything that we supposed to be doing now when we was younger. It's just we weren't in our full potential because we didn't know, damn, I can be doing this too. I can be with the gifts and talents I got. You gotta understand, when Christ come back, that's what he's looking for. Gifts and talents, what you did for the nation, how you elevated, who you helped, how much love did you give, how many roses did you give out before a person died. Love, you know. Cause you can follow 2 commandments and you can be in the door. And it's over 600 and some commandments. But the first, you know, the first 10, you know, if you wrap up the 2, nigga, if you love, if you got a heart, even throughout the bullshit that you go through, you got a heart, nigga. And you don't live, you got a heart to where you know how to love, and you got intelligence with it, you know. But you also know, you know, that's when it's duplicity. You also know that when it comes to love, sometimes you can't be with emotion sometimes with love. Sometimes, you know, hollowness is all. You know, sometimes you gotta, you know, move like that because people play on emotions, people play on love. And when you're a person who your love be on your sleeve, your love is out there, it depends on what you do to make me want to, you know, okay, I'm gonna have to love you like this. Now, if you look at it like, oh, you changed, it ain't changed. It's just, you gotta understand, everybody, since we trapped in this flesh, we're all human. And that's the problem. That's the problem, nigga. We in flesh. We don't even supposed to be in flesh. We disobeyed so bad. We in flesh now. We don't even supposed to be in flesh, bro. Niggas in flesh, bro. And that's why people be thinking it's so hard, but it's not hard, bro. It take each one teach one. It takes everybody you around, and y'all gotta build each other. But then if it's strife and it's envy and it's all this, like, bro, you gonna see a different love. Y'all might not, a person might seem like he don't love you, but the whole time he love you, but he gotta love you a certain way because you got a certain way of, you know, everybody got a different way of loving. And that's okay. Because the world will do that to you. That's another thing. The world will make you change the way you love, nigga. You don't believe that, nigga, you better believe something. The world will make you change the way you love, nigga. You'll go from, you can be the sweetest person in the world, nigga. You can be one of that sweet type of love, and then you can go to that hollow. It'll be straight hollow. Like a nigga gonna know you don't take nothing. Soon when they try to come with games, you out the door. You ain't, you know, it ain't no games being played when you know you putting love on the line. Not just relationship wise. I'm talking about any type of relationship, any type of, you know, connection. You ain't, I mean, like, bro, you ain't, that's the thing, bro. If you ain't, the thing about it, we gotta get back to being genuine, bro. A lot of us, we don't be who we are. Cause a lot of us, nigga, we amazing people, but nigga, we be so mashed up to where, nigga, we make everybody seem like we're a whole different, like, bro. When you a person, you can't really hide nothing, and, you know, just look at all your traits when you was young. That you'll determine who you are. you'll know who you are. When you look at your church of how you was before and all your innocence was stripped. Before you knew what sin was. Look at how you was. And then refer to now. And then get in the middle and see where the damage came about. That's really what it is. Like, nigga, you know, it's really what it is, bro. A lot of nigga time will make us, nigga. We ain't crazy, but nigga, time can make you crazy, bro. And you don't even know it. Time can make you crazy, bro. Time can make you crazy, dude. For real, bro.
Don't do this with you. No, sir. I'm not gonna do this with you. Shit.
I don't know how many people